Alright, y'all, welcome back. For today, for the first time, we will be drafting Arcane Rising. So we've gone through a box of Welcome to Wraith. We're going to get back to Welcome to Wraith eventually. But the box I currently have is Arcane Rising. And on another note, Arcane Rising is the set that I actually have some experience drafting. And limited. So I'll give my thoughts. I'll be able to make a more informed decision as we go through some cards based on what I've already played with. So we'll get into pack one. Playing limited in stores is fantastic, by the way. I really can't wait for all you guys to have that experience as well. So we have Back Alley Breakline, blue, Rifting, red Sunkiss, red Lead the Charge. Very cool card so far. Perfect Null Rune Robe. Yeah, 100% need some Arcane Barrier while you're playing limited Arcane Rising, believe me. So our first rare is Oath of the Arknight. Our second rare is Take Aim. Let's put these over here. Our foil is a rare Prayer, which is pretty good. Then we have Hamstring Shot, Zipper Hit, Headshot, 0 to 60, Reverberate, Drawn to the Dark Dimensions, and Index. Okay. So for this video's discussion, we're going to be talking about sealed. I don't have the drafting experience here at home with me. There is a way I think we can do that through Tabletop Simulator, and I'm interested on messing around with that a little bit. I think that would be fun to stream as well. So I think that is definitely something we will check out in the future, but for right now, we're just talking about a sealed pool. Alright, so pack number 2. We have blue Fate Foreseen, Fervent Forerunner, red Contraband, yellow Whisper of the Oracle. We have Talismanic Lens, which is a great generic headpiece, probably the best headpiece in the set, aside from Skullcap, of course. We have Aether Spindle, Pour the Mold, and we have Bloodspill Invocation for our foil. Then we have Locked and Loaded, blue Sikkim. You don't really want any blue Ranger cards, very few in fact. Blue Throttle, red Scalding Rain, blue Spellblade, Flare, and red Read the Runes, which is a good card. So when I played Sealed for the first time, I played Runeblade. I had a ton of fun. I think Runeblade is a very fun class. All the classes are really fun. I think Wizard kind of takes the most finesse. You know, you really have to play Wizard a certain way, but if you guys have not played Wizard yet in Flesh and Blood, believe me when I tell you that Wizard plays unlike any other class. Being able to play at instant speed is so much fun. It's so different than anything else you've played. Blue Push the Point, red Moonwish, yellow Vigor, yellow Lead, Bracers of Belief. So far we've had a pretty good generic equipment, some generic equipment pools, which is really good. We're going to have a nice, well-rounded equipment. Hopefully we can pull No Rune Boots. That would really help us kind of smooth everything over. We have Blue Oath, Pedal to the Metal, and we have a foil Scalding Rain. Red Overloop, Salvage Shot. Salvage Shot's incredible. Ridge Rider, yellow Blood Spill, red Zap, blue Rune Flash. Okay, so we have some really good Rune Chant token support so far. Really good cards. I would like to see a reduced to Rune Chant, which is a really fantastic card for limited, constructed, any format, I believe. It's a great defense reaction that generates some tokens for you. Blue Fate Foreseen, blue Foresight, blue Whisper. That's a really nice run of 3 generics. Those are all 3 great generics. We have a red Rifting. We haven't seen a red Ravenous Rabble. Red Ravenous Rabble is a top tier card in limited. We have Robes of Rapture. This is a good card for Wizard, of course. Enchanting Melody. We have Become the Arknight, which is a very cool card. You really have to know Runeblade well to make that card work. It's something that you have to figure out. We have a foil red Come to Fight, which is a really good card. Blue Throttle, blue red, blue Reverberate, blue Read the Runes, Zap, and of course, a Cracked Bauble. Wouldn't be a sealed video without a cracked bottle, right? Okay. We'll get into pack 5. And we'll see what goodies we have. So I think we have really awesome generics so far. I would love to see a red Ravenous Rabble. So red Vigor, red Contraband, Back Alley, Push the Point. We have Null Rune Gloves. Ooh, red Plunder Run. That's a really solid generic. Absorb an Aether. And a Foil Life for a Life. So we have Searing Shot, 0 to 60, Sick'em Shot. A lot of our Ranger cards have been blue. I know it's hard to see down here at this point. A lot of our Ranger, our arrows have been blue. That is not what you want. You honestly want mostly red arrows, a few yellow arrows. You could go for some blue pitch value in Ranger, but honestly it's not needed. Unless you can maybe side them in against Wizard if you have 3 pieces of Arcane Barrier. So you have yellow Overloop, blue Amplify the Arknight, decent, would like red, not a bad card though. Red Voltic Bolt, blue Spellblade Strike, and a cracked Bauble. Man, so we have quite a few red spells for Wizard, which is interesting. Wizard is tough to play. The 15 life is challenging, but you really put your opponent on their back foot. You make them think about how they have to play their cards. Okay. And our final pack. Let's see what we got. Blue Come to Fight. Finally. Red Ravenous Rabble. Fantastic. That really helps a lot of these other classes. Red Back Alley, which I think goes very well in Ranger. Lead the Charge. And we have some generic boots. So that's good. We pulled some boots. So we do have a generic. We'll have 4 pieces of armor. Aether Spindle. Stir the Aether Winds. So double Wizard Rare. Both blue too, I believe. No, one was blue. We have a yellow Foil Whisper of the Oracles. Blue 0 to 60. Red Salvage Shot. That's our second red salvage shot. That is good. Blue Overloop. Red Hamstring. Blue Zap. Red Amplify. Red Index. Okay. These are some good cards. These are pretty strong piles. I'm liking this. So real quick, let's look at our inventory. Let's look at our equipment first. I believe the only non-generic piece we have are the Robes of Rapture. So that would replace Null Rune Robes. It also has Arcane Barrier 1 itself, so it's just a strict upgrade for Null Rune Robes if we end up playing Wizard. A lot of other good stuff. We wouldn't really play Bracers of Belief in Wizard. We could go with Null Rune. All in all, really good equipment choices. I would have been happy to have these equipment choices going forward. Let's take a look at our generics real quick before we look at our classes. Thinking of classes right now, I would probably go with Runeblade or Wizard, possibly Ranger. I don't know if I would play Mechanologist in this case. I don't see a lot of red. We have 0 to 60, which is solid. Red Overloop, Red Petal. You know, these are solid. I don't think we got any items, which is surprising. Did we get any items? Wow. So we got no Mechanologist items, which is painful. So that basically makes Dash's ability worthless. So we could go for a really aggressive boosting deck with Dash, but I don't think that would work out very well. If you're boosting a lot, you really have to get the damage in. You have to have the perfect kind of deck, because if you're boosting nonstop, you're gonna run out of cards very quick. You're gonna run out of deck very quickly, is what I mean to say. So because we have no items, I don't really think the card quality is super great here. We have some good stuff, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think it's our best pile. I'm going to choose to put Mechanologist out of the running for right now. On a side note, though, if you get Induction Chamber, the Mechanologist, I believe it's a Majestic, the Mechanologist item that allows you to shoot with your pistol twice a turn, that is instant Mechanologist as far as I'm concerned. You should play Mechanologist. So, we have Amplify, or we have Runeblade, we have Wizard, and we have Ranger. So let's take a look at our generics real quick. I'm kind of leaning more towards Ranger or Runeblade. Those are my preferred heroes. That's who I'd like to play. I haven't played Wizard yesterday, but I lost to one or two of them. So I understand its value. Very strange to play. I also won against a few of them yesterday, so it's not impossible. They're just a very different play style. So real quick, let's just see what we have. I think Back Alley Breakline is really good in Ranger, because if you flop this over with Azalea's ability, you get to use it, and it also generates you an action point, which is cool. So you'll be able to attack with this, maybe use Death Dealer to get another arrow in play. So solid. We're going to play Ravenous Rabble. We're going to play Plunder Run. Plunder Run's a tricky one because you want to play it from Arsenal. It works very well in Ranger, but you're basically setting up for your next turn so you can lead with it. And it's also tricky because it is the next attack action card you play. So if you're going to attack with your weapon, if you're playing Runeblade, keep that in mind that you have to use an attack action card that turn. I think Contraband is okay. Come to Fight is very strong. Let's see here. I'd probably play some blue or some yellows as well. Red Lead the Charge. I'm going to throw in a Red Sunkiss. Funny story, in my sealed event yesterday, I went 2-2 out of our 4 rounds. And the 2 rounds that I lost because of Red Sunkiss. Once because my opponent used it and put us into a draw, which counts as a loss for both players. And the second time, I was Runeblade, they were Ranger, and that just gave them the 3 life they needed. He ended the game with 3 life. If he had not had the Red Sunkiss, I would have won. So do not underestimate the ability just to gain 3 life. So we'll do that. Let's look again real quick to see if we have any defense reactions. I think we only have blue. Okay, we have yellow Fate Foreseen. I would play that. Opting is really strong in this set for any of the classes. It's particularly very strong in Wizard, Mechanologist, and Ranger. It doesn't have as much use in Runeblade. You're not manipulating your deck very often with Runeblade, but it's incredible in Ranger, Mechanologist, and Wizard. So I would throw that in. Just a good defense reaction. Okay, do we want the red Contraband? When Contraband hits, if you have put a non-attack action card from your... You may put a non-attack action card from your graveyard on top of your deck. So this is good, I think, in Runeblade. So we'll maybe put that to the side now. I think red Fervent Forerunner... This is blue, but red Fervent Forerunner is pretty good in Ranger, because it lets you play it from your arsenal. This is all about just setting up your next turn. So it lets you, red hits for 3, so they either you get a card out of their hand from them blocking. It lets you opt 2 to see if you possibly want to do some arrow shenanigans. And it gets you go again, so it's just some extra damage. I wouldn't play blue. I would only play red in Ranger. And I think that might be it for us. I'll throw this yellow Lead the Charge in, because I think Lead the Charge is great in Runeblade, and I think I might honestly be leaning towards Runeblade. In that case, I'm going to throw in that blue Come to Fight as well. If we end up playing Runeblade, I'm probably going to drop the red Back Alley. So let's just see what our arrows are like. Now that we have our generic lined up, let's kind of see what our classes are like. I always think that your generics help decide your class. It's always good to take a look at your generics first to see what doors are just blown open because you have the right generics. Okay, so we have a red Hamstring. We have a red Salvage. Let's put all our reds out first, because ultimately your reds are what you're going to be using the most. If you get a bunch of red arrows, that's a good indicator that Ranger might be it for you. Because they're all 1 or 0 cost, they hit very hard, and you're going to be wanting to flip them over with Azalea. So I would recommend, honestly, if you could get 8 to 10 red arrows, if you pull that many red arrows, that's solid. If 1/3 of your deck is red arrows, Azalea is a strong choice. You can play a couple of yellows, I think. You don't need to play too many blue pitch cards in Ranger. unless you are going up against Wizard, like I said earlier. If you have some other generics that maybe work off more resources, you could throw in one or two blues. But honestly, you're going to get much higher card quality out of reds and yellows. And most of the time, you're going to be able to get what you need done off of yellows. So prioritize some yellows. This seems like a pretty solid line. I would probably put in, maybe the ones that just have go again. Sick'em Shot, perhaps. Just some blue sickies. Because you're going to get go again. You're going to want that later. When it comes down to the wire and you have somebody at 1 to 4 or 5 health, putting that extra pressure of go again on, like, hey, you have to block this. You have to block this. Setting up a strong dominate could be worth it. So we'll put these two over here. This is our potential ranger pile. This would put us at so this is 20 right here. Would we have 10 other generics in this pile that would really make it worth playing? I do not think so. There's a lot of Foresights. There's a lot of Whispers of the Oracle. Whisper of the Oracle blocks for 3. Let's just put those out and see if we would honestly have it. I would probably play Contraband just as another attack. Play another Whisper. Foresight only blocks for 2, but the next attack action card. Boost some stuff up. Not the worst thing ever. Yellow Oracle. Blue Fade for Scene. Defense reaction for 2. I wouldn't do it. If it's a red Fade for Scene, then we'd probably be talking. So we added another 5 cards. We could add our 2 other blue arrows. We would need 3 more. We could really try and make Ranger work. But before we do that, let's take a look at Arknight or Runeblade. I always call the class Arknight. Like that freaking mobile game. Okay, so we'll set this over here. That's our Ranger. Little Ranger pile. Pretty decent. Let's take a look at Runeblade. So red, amplify the Arknight. Fantastic. Become the Arknight. Very strong blue pitch card. Can't really hate on that. Runeblade is definitely hungrier for resources than Ranger. We didn't get any reduced to Rune Chant, which is the defense reaction. That's an incredible card. Very good. In most situations, blocks damage, creates Rune Chants, does everything you need it to. We have red Blood Spill. I like that. We have red Read the Runes. A good way to use your turn. Not the worst way to use your turn. There's a couple of generics that would let you do something else as well. Drawn to the Dark Dimension. Very cool. Oath of the Arknight. Very cool. Any action card that gives you go again that's non-attack is useful in Rune Chant or in Runeblade. You're going to be creating more tokens. You're going to be popping tokens. You're going to be making things happen, which is ideally, what you want to do, of course. I would play this blue Amplify the Arknight. It can cost 0 without hardly any effort. I'd play this blue Read the Runes. I'd play Rune Flash. I'd play blue Blood Spill. I'd play a blue Oath of the Arknight. So even now, you're just seeing that we're maybe not as heavily aggressive as our Ranger deck with high power cards, but something else you have to remember is with Runeblade, you have your weapon, which is going to be swinging for 4 very often, and if it hits, it creates a Rune Chant token, so it's getting value in. In fact, I'd probably just play every Runeblade card, even these blue Spellblade Strikes. So that puts us at so that's 25. We have our other 5 cards over here. Back Alley Breakline isn't as good here, but it's still a red attack card. It could still put some work. You're not ever really going to put it into play to activate its effect the way it would work, but it would just be a red 5 power attack. Is Ravenous Rabble as strong in this deck? Ravenous Rabble is incredible in Ranger. because most of your deck is very low to the ground. So you're going to be swinging in for 3 or 4 very consistently. We have a lot of blue pitches in this deck, so it loses some value, but I still think it's a strong card. So all in all, I like the Runeblade list. I think Runeblade could really be the best choice here. That's what I'm leaning toward. But let's take a look at Wizard real quick. I'm not as comfortable with Wizard. I think with Wizard, the first thing you want to do is slap down your blues just to see how many cards you have that can trigger Kano's ability for just 1 card. So we're looking at 5. That's a Reverberate. What is his defense reaction? Did we get anything? I don't think so. I know he has a defense reaction in the set. Yeah, Absorb and Aether. Okay, so we did get one. It's a rare. Nice. Okay. And then I think you also want to put down your red spells, your red damage spells, because that's going to be what you're really hitting with, you know? That's the stuff that you want to set up to be on top. So we have a yellow zap, a red zap, red Aether Flare, a red Scalding Rain, you know? I think I would honestly play Wizard here just to, like, have the experience. I don't know if we'd play Index. I know Index is decent. People were playing it against me. It's a good way to kind of opt to set up. But I think I would probably want to play a little bit more aggressive. So we're looking at 13 Wizard cards. Wizard definitely requires you tailoring your generic cards quite a bit more. So I don't think that Back Alley Breakline or Ravenous Rabble or Plunder Run come to fight. A lot of these cards use or lose their usefulness because you're not really attacking, you're not boosting attacks like that. Pretty sure all Wizard cards are just actions, and cards like Come to Fight are the next attack action you play. So a lot of that stuff falls out. We would probably lose like 50 to 70% of our actions right here. And I don't think we have the other kind. I think we'd be playing a lot more like Fate for Scenes. If I had more Fate for Scenes, some other Whispers, and some other Force Sights, I'd probably lean more towards Wizard. I think we have a very good list of Wizard spells here, but I think our generics are just much more focused towards an attacking aggressive class that's like swinging in with attack actions. So I would have to put Wizard away from right now, as fun as it looks and as much as I want to try it. And I think that I would have to stick with Runeblade for this list. So that would be my choice. I think it would be a pretty solid list. I think we're definitely triggering his effect. We have a lot of actions that let us play something, then play something else. We have a very good, you know, it's half and half almost. So you're going to be playing Runeblade cards after you play generic stuff. So that's my choice for today. I would go Runeblade. If you guys feel any other kind of way, if you think that's the right choice, let me know. I'm probably going to make a video tomorrow or another day where I organize all the cards that I've just opened recently. And I'll just talk a little bit more about what it was like playing in store, you know, the experience I had, and anything else. If you guys have any suggestions about stuff you want to see, I'd really like to do a video where we kind of grade all the cards in a particular set. I think that'll be super fun. I'm working towards that, but if you stayed all the way with me to the end, 25-minute video, I appreciate it. You guys are great. I do this because I enjoy doing it, and I hope you guys enjoy watching. So if you've been liking the video, feel free to subscribe. Feel free to like it. Feel free to leave a comment. That's up to you. I will talk to you guys later. Excuse me. I'll catch you next time. Be safe, and I'll see you around.